News Talk 640 WFSA. We're working for the weekend. Not this weekend, but next weekend. Valarie Rayner is here. She's the co-chair for the Suicide Prevention Charity Ride. It's going to be happening April 11th.
Yes.
That's next weekend.
Yes.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
I saw you talk to the mayor on the way out, and he told you not to let you get me. I don't get anybody in here. He give you a hard time.
No, he didn't. It was all in fun.
Yeah, I know. Well, we always appreciate the mayor coming in. We want you to come in because two things. First of all, this charity ride is very important in our community.
Mm-hmm.
But secondly, because of a tornado last year in Jacksonville, there was some thought that this ride was not going to happen. Give me some details on that.
So on March 12th, an unexpected tornado destroyed Post 265, Burton Cowell American Legion Post 265. And for 2 days, we was like unsure what we were going to do. And so all other events had been canceled, but the post commander, Steve Short, he said we will go on because instead of it being an indoor-outdoor car show and the vendor event and us riding in, we would go ahead and utilize the fairgrounds that's adjacent to the post.
Well, now, and explain what this the ride is all about. And, you know, these things used to be called a motorcycle ride,
Right.
but it's expanded to include more vehicles. So talk about what it is.
So let me start back at the beginning. So about 6 years ago, matter of fact, 6 years ago, February, I received word that a former soldier of mine had taken her life. And she was 30 years old and she left behind 2 small children. So that hit different. You always hear about veterans taking their lives to suicide or, you know, family members, friends, something like that. But when it's actually somebody you know, it hits a little bit different. So right then and there, I said, okay, they always talk about suicide awareness, but we need to do something to get the prevention out there because once suicide awareness is good, but they've already done what they're going to do at that point in time. So I started putting the idea together. I was the district commander at that time, and I was trying to figure out a way to make this more relevant. So around that same time, American Legion National Headquarters came up with the Be the One initiative, which is our version of the suicide prevention, where we do buddy checks, we check on everybody. So my co-chair, John Potter, the same year he lost his son to suicide on New Year's Day. So we met up. Well, we didn't meet until the night before the ride. We had corresponded only through email and phone calls and text messages. So the night before the ride, him and his wife came up and met with me and my husband, and it was just like we have known each other for years. But you know that's how it is in the veteran community. Once you meet somebody, you're family for life. So we came up with the ride. It initially started out with just a ride. Then the second year, we added the vendor event and the car show. So last year, we were able to have the Ride of Pride truck come out and ride with us. But due to some things that was out of their control, we're not able to have that truck with us this year. But the ride, the show must go on. So we're going to make the best of it and keep pushing.
Well, and so, as I mentioned, it started out just as a motorcycle ride. Mm-hmm. It's my understanding that you have organizations all across the state who are putting their chapters together and going to meet in Jacksonville, and that's what the ride is.
Right.
And so how does a person get involved if they want to? Because you still have a week before the ride actually happens on April 11th.
Yes.
When does it start? What time?
So we will be leaving out of the parking lot at Matt Williams School off of Old Clinton Road, and registration starts at 7, and we will roll out at 8:30. Donation is $20 per bike, and that includes the passenger if you have a passenger on the bike, and the donation for cars is $25, and that will include all passengers in the cars. Once you pay your registration fee, we require you to sign a waiver for both the vehicles and the motorcycles.
You know, there was a time back in 2012 where we were having, this was right around the end of the war in Afghanistan, 22 veterans a day were committing suicide here in this country. And it was a 22, which became the number. Do you remember that?
22 a day. And it still rings true. But with my research, I found out something else that was very interesting. A fourth of that number are female veterans. And that's a high number. Yeah, that's a very high number. And so a lot of people get into doing things to get, they do it for the applause and not the cause. That's not me. I'm trying to make a difference in the community. I want to bring suicide, prevention to the forefront. And I keep it very transparent because I'm a disabled veteran as well. And I deal with PTSD and anxiety and depression. But I've learned to be able to handle mine and control it a little bit better. But everybody's not fortunate like that. And I have a great support system. And you know as well as I do, we had several family members that came back from Vietnam and they were messed up. And grandma and granddad put cousin, uncle so and so or cousin so and so in that back room. They like, oh, he came back messed up in the head. Don't bother with him. And suicide and depression and mental health is always a stigmatism and a stereotype that people don't want to address.
Well, you mentioned Vietnam, and I came along just after Vietnam and before the Gulf War. So
Mhm.
it's kind of a peacetime army, but still there are things that go on during training that, and you don't even have to be in the military to suffer PTSD. You
Exactly.
can be involved in a car accident, or you can see some traumatic event happen, and it
Exactly.
can impact you. So mental health is really important, and I'm glad to see that now in the military things have changed a little bit because there
Mhm.
was a time when I came along that if you had a problem as an officer or as a senior NCO, you did not talk about seeking any mental health.
That is
You
correct.
did not go to sick call. You did not do any of those things. What you did was you just tightened up your lips and just live with it.
Exactly.
And you mentioned the Vietnam vets, and so is true with the few World War II vets that we have
Mhm.
that seen horrific things and never really talked about it.
Right.
And so, what you're doing and what organizations do, either through golf tournaments or rides
Mhm.
or social events, is getting veterans to try to talk about the things that they have. I had someone in here not too long ago who said that they just recently started talking about the events that happened to them in Vietnam with
Mhm.
family members. It's like you said, they're kind of pushed aside. Let's not force them to talk, but it is the best therapy to get it out some kind of way. And if you're able to do it by being with a buddy on a ride,
Mhm.
it's what's it, an hour and a half or so to Jacksonville?
Well, we
Mhm.
take a little extended ride.
Yeah,
So
okay.
when we leave out of the school parking lot, Cumberland County Sheriffs, which they have been awesome with this every year, um, they will bring us around to the Harnett County line off of 301. And from there, Harnett County Sheriffs will pick us up and then they'll take us around the service road and then we'll merge on to 95. And we're probably about a mile away from the Johnston County line. Then they will pick us up. We'll stop off in Selma off of exit 97 at the Old North State Food Hall, and from there, there's another registration that starts at 8:30, and we're picking up more people. From there, we jump on 70, head over to American Legion Wayne Post 10, 11. I always mix that number up, and the same thing. So from there, we'll hit Highway 117, come up in Mount Olive, and we take a nice little country ride through the back roads and have a good time. So it's almost about 150, 160 miles round one way.
And in the course of that, you have not only service members but civilians as well
Mhm.
who just want to join and support the
Mhm.
effort.
Yes.
But you have camaraderie between veterans there as well. Many of
Yes.
whom, during the course of that travel, could talk with other veterans about their things. And I don't know a time when I've either had a veteran in here or somewhere that at some point a war story didn't break out. It's
Yes.
just how it's the
It's
family
just
of
what
being
we
a
do.
veteran.
Yes.
And it's our time in service that we remember. I was talking to a guy yesterday here who has this program called it's Soldiers to Agriculture
Okay.
here in Cumberland County, and helping soldiers who are separating get a chance. And I said, when you left, you probably wanted to get back in. He said, no, I had enough. I did 20 some odd years. But there are many folks who, like me, if I could go back in, I wouldn't mind going back in. There are a
Mhm.
lot of veterans who wouldn't mind getting back into that connection of the service because of what happens and the family connections that you make at the different posts that you
Mhm.
are. Do you
Right.
experience that in talking with veterans in the American Legion?
I have, and when I first exited the military in 2017, I had that same thing. I had that same, thought process because for a little bit, for about 2 months, I felt lost because that plays a big part of your life, and that's one of the reasons why I got involved with the American Legion and became a member of the VFW. Um, and it still gives me that connection to the military without being in the military. And I have met a lot of great people They have told me different things, and it's always a great time when I get together with my Legion family members because it's like a big reunion. Everybody served in some capacity, and we all went through some of the same similar things. So yes, it's a great thing. It's a great thing to do.
If you're just joining me right now, 7:50, we've got about 62 degrees in Fayetteville, Hope Mills, and Spring Lake. Valarie Rayner is the co-chair for this year's annual charity ride that's to bring awareness and prevention to suicide, especially amongst our military personnel and first responders as well. I mean,
Yes.
you just bring everybody in who suffers from PTSD or has been exposed to some things that really just they need some mental health
Hmm.
comforting, some kind of way, someone to listen, someone to talk to. And so this event is going to be happening on April 11th, starting here in Fayetteville and be heading to Jacksonville, North Carolina. So it's a pretty good ride
Yes.
that you have
Yes,
put
it is.
together. During your time in service, how long were you in and what did you do?
I had several jobs. I was in Okay, so my journey was a little different because I was guard, active, reserved, and back active. So for pay purposes, it was 23 years. For time in service, because guard and reserve time is calculated differently, I was in 14 and a half years.
Okay. And during that time, what kind of jobs did you do?
I started out as a cook. From a cook, I became a combat camera photographer, and I was all great. I was good with that until they told me I had to go to Bosnia for 2 years, and I had a 6-month-old child. I was like, No.
Wow. Well, and see that those are some of the things. But
Yeah,
when you sign up, you have to make
right,
arrangements for
right,
kids. It's part of the contract.
right.
But it's difficult for folks to
Yeah, especially being a
predict.
single parent. And my son at that time, he was a premature child, and he was born with some health issues. Fortunately, God blessed him to be, a normal functioning adult, which he'll be 27 this year.
And that's something. Time
Yeah,
really goes.
yeah. And my end job was ammunitions. I did HR. I cross trained a little bit in NBC, but for the most part, what I tell everybody, I was a over underpaid, overworked, underappreciated babysitter to grown people. Better known as a platoon sergeant or a section
Kenny,
squad leader.
that sounds like us here at the station, doesn't it, Kenny?
I tell you what, boy, we're taking care of the little
But I
kiddies.
wouldn't have had it any other way. I enjoyed my time. Some of my soldiers, they still stay in contact with me, and
Yeah.
a lot of my battle buddies too.
I've got a hat from, is it that one up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that hat up there was given to me by my platoon sergeant about a year ago.
Okay.
He saw me out on the road and stopped me while I was doing a report at WRL and said he invited me down to South Carolina. Went down to visit some of my old members of 327 Signal,
Hmm.
and we had a good time. They had a hat for me. It says Lieutenant Bays on the back.
Okay.
It says
Cool.
"ooh." So I say the "ooh" when I put it on. So now, you're a past commander from VFW or from American Legion?
I am a past district commander for District 8 of the American Legion.
Yeah, I got that wrong on this sheet. Kenny, I'm gonna have to fix that, Kenny, because I have her on VFW.
Well, I am a member of the VFW.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to bring my talents over to my post 6018 because the American Legion has kept me so busy. It was like when they saw me, they was like, "Oh, she's a go getter. Let's go on and get her busy." So,
Well, and 6018 is the VFW post on Ramsey Street,
mhm,
and it's been in this community forever. I remember when they had a burning of the deed because they ended up owning the building,
mhm,
and so that gives you a sense of how long they've been here, and they do great things in the community with
yes,
stand downs for the less fortunate folks in our community,
mhm,
haircuts and all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
Always something going on over
yeah.
there. Plus a good party on Friday nights.
Yeah, they
It's,
do. They
they
do
have a
have.
good.
I haven't been in a while because I'm now on GG duty.
Okay.
But yeah. But one of the things, the ride, the everything that we do with the ride, the car show, and the vendor event, all proceeds benefit the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention North Carolina chapter. And last year we were fortunate to raise over $6,000 for them.
All right. Well, Kenny, we got you up on screen here. I'm sure you want to wish her well
Yes, I
for this
do.
event that's coming up here.
And I was just thinking, I was in and out of the interview, but Valarie, not a writer, just the organizer, right?
That's
I actually took the class the summer before my 50th birthday 2 years ago.
I knew
So
it.
I know how to
what
ride.
to ride?
Yeah.
What class you got to take to ride?
You have to. Well, I took it through the Harley Davidson.
Oh, you the motorcycle.
The motorcycle
class. I'm saying.
class.
I mean, I'm sitting in the car riding. I went and said, "Hey,
No.
I'd like to take the
one of
class
my
to be a
things.
passenger in the car here."
No, I'm
It
just.
was one of my, people have a bucket list. I don't have a bucket list. I have a to-do list, and that was one of the things I did. And my best friend who lives in Florida, he paid for me to take the class down there because he's in law enforcement, and the gentleman that teaches the class was his SWAT battle, and he was a motor sergeant. So he's like, that's the best person I trust to teach you how to ride.
All right. Well, Valerie, we appreciate you coming in, and good luck to you. And if folks want to be involved, they can get in touch with you. How?
They can get in touch with me via email at commanderrayner@gmail.com, all lowercase, or you can call me at 910-723-0399, or you can check out our Facebook event page. Just do a search for Be the One. And before we go, I'd like to give you a certificate of appreciation
Holy moly.
for having us on again, and we appreciate all that you do.
Kenny, I'm going to accept this on behalf of me and Kenny Hitman McLean.
Okay.
Because we're a team.
Exactly.
And I asked her if she rides.
Yes, and she has. Well,
I
thank
knew
you.
it.
Val, we appreciate you so much. Thank you for all you do for the community, and good luck with the event that's going to be happening on April 11th. Starting here in Fayetteville, ending in Jacksonville. Enjoy your ride.
Thank you. 2 wheels, 3 wheels, or 4 wheels. Just come out and ride and have a good time.
All right, I'm going to 1 wheel. Unicycle Bays. All right, you're listening to News Talk 640 WFNC. We've got Fayetteville's most dependable forecast with CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsey.
It is another warm start to the morning and will stay warm with a high of 85 and partly cloudy skies. Overnight will be partly cloudy with a low of 61, and Friday will also be partly cloudy and mainly dry, but an isolated shower can't be ruled out. We will also have a high of 84. The holiday weekend is expected to stay warm, but rain is expected to arrive by Sunday afternoon and then continue overnight due to a cold front, and it will bring back cooler conditions next week. That's your Fayetteville forecast. I'm CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsing.
All right, Rachel, thank you. 64 degrees right now in Fayetteville, Hope Mills, and also at Fort Bragg. You're listening to News Talk 640. We are WFNC.
Bringing you all the news and information that matters.